What's up everyone and welcome to the club. In today's video, we're creating a sketch illustration of a snowy mountain landscape. For today's lesson, I'm going to be turning my sketch pad over towards the side so it's longer going horizontally. I got my 2B pencil. Let's start by adding a guideline going across the center for our horizon line. So we're going to start down here on the left side. It's going to lightly work our way across. Now this is the separation line between the sky and the ground. Now with our horizon line in place, I want to start working in the composition. In the center, we're going to have a frozen river. So let's start over on the right side of center. Along the horizon line, we're just going to go across, over towards the left. I'm just going to bring this back over towards the right. So we have this little chicane in the river. Now let's go back to the top. It's going to go a little bit wider as it comes down, then go out towards the right. Now the river gets wider as it comes towards us. Now I want to start building out some shapes and layers. So on this side, we're going to add a little bit of a hill. So I'm just going to pull this up and then down towards the side. And you can see I'm not getting too detailed with this. I'm just roughing this in. Over on this point, we're just going to add another hill. We're going to go up and then out. So we're starting to add these layers. Let's add another one down here, going across and then outside of our page. Now with our composition, I like to add the mountains out towards our side and just bring them down towards the valley. So let's start over here. We're going to go up. Now we're just focusing on the shape of the mountains, going up towards a peak, come down, and just curve this across. Let's add another mountain peak over on the right. So we're going to go up and then down. Now these heights don't have to be exactly the same. It's actually nice if one's a little bit higher than the other. Makes it look a little bit more natural. Let's add a couple layers. We're going to step down, add a mountain peak on the back, come down, just blend that out. Let's add a small one across the back. Now that we've blocked out our composition, I want to locate the trees. So on this hill here, we're going to add one large one. We're going to go up towards the peak. Now it's going to add the volume. We're going to come down and then out towards the bottom. Almost like drawing a long triangle. Let's add another one down here. A little smaller. One more on the back side. And then over on the right side, we're going to do the same thing. Let's start from the right. We're going to go up, come down the sides. And a few in the background. So going a little bit smaller as the trees go out further in the back. And I'm just roughing in the shapes. Let's add one just bending across and then down. Now along this area here, we're going to add a few smaller ones. And just layering them in. Now that we've blocked in our composition, I want to start adding a second level of detail. Let's start with this tree, starting from the very top. I'm going to move to the side edge of my pencil. I'm just going to add some layers of branches. So just bending this out towards the side. It's going to rough up the bottom, just adding a little bit of a shadow. We're going to do the same thing again. We're just going to bend this out and just layering these in behind one another. So we have a little bit of snow across the top and then the shadow across the bottom. You can also change the shapes a little bit. So it doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical. So you see that we're just stacking these layers. So just tucking them up underneath. So this is the base layer first. We're going to add some more detail after. Now right here, we're going to start adding these little zigzag lines. Just roughing them in. Now these branches across the bottom have a little less snow than on the top. I'm just going to work our way down towards the bottom. Now along the bottom, I'm just going to add some foliage, just some rough grass, sort of where the snow hasn't touched underneath the trees. Because this canopy is just blocking that snow from falling here. I'm just going to fade that down the hillside. And this detail is also going to help us give some shape to this mountain, this little hill. Let's add a little bit of shadow coming down, just cascading down the edge. Now let's go back and add some more trees. So again, just opening up that center along the top, and then adding thicker, darker branches across the bottom. I'm just going to tuck this tree in behind. We're going Add some bushes and foliage across the bottom. I'm just going to soften up the edge of the snow. Bearing those down the side of the hill. Now with the edge of the river, we're just going to break this up. We're just going to pull this in and then out. Just kind of doing a little zigzag across the edge of the river. So it's not perfectly straight. Do the same thing across the inside. Just roughing that up. Now from the back of the river, I'm just going to darken that up. I'm just going to fade that towards the inside, towards the bottom. And this is where the sky is sort of going to reflect back up. And darken up the sides of the river, and then fade that in. Also going to just rough up the trees in the back, just making them a little bit darker, almost like in a silhouette. Add a little bit of shadow coming down. We're going to go across the river, so you see the reflection inside the frozen water. Let's enhance that edge of the hill, going back up towards the trees. Now you can always darken up the back, so relying less on the contours and more on the shades and tones. I'm going to repeat the same steps. Just adding these layers. Start to add just more of the shadows of the branches underneath. Let's go out into a silhouette. And let's add some foliage across the bottom. Just going to add some ripples across the side of the hill. Just darkening this up across the bottom and then fading that up. Just going to darken up those trees in the background. Now these trees are also going to cast a reflection inside the ice. So just darken that up. Now it's going to bend this out. Just darken up the edge of the river. Now with these mountain peaks, we're going to start from the very top with the side edge of our pencil. It's going to draw the ridge. We're just going to lightly work our way down with this wiggly line. Coming down and out towards the left. Now I'm going to add that shadow on the left side of this mountain. So I'm going to darken that up and then fade that down. You can also change the shape of the mountain on the outside. Just blend that out. Go back and just darken that up. Now this is the base layer of the shadow. Let's go to the front side. Just adding this wobbly line. Now I'm just going to blend this out. So we want to blend these mountains in towards each other. Add another ridge right here. Darken up the back. And then working our way down. Do that again. Going up. Now on the right side, I'm just going to work our way down. Let's add that little ridge coming down the side. Darken up the top, and then fade that down. Let's add another peak back here. Now the mountains on the back are going to be pushed back into a little bit of a fog. So you're only going to see a little bit of the silhouette in the back. Now right here, I'm going to bring that ridge coming across. So lightly shade that in, and then fade that down. Now along this ridge, we're going to expose some rocks. So we're just going to darken up some areas, open up some spots. We also want to expose some of those rocks on the right side, where the sun will hit. Now I'm going to go in with my 4B pencil. This is a little bit darker. I'm going to add some more contrast and more details. Let's start with the undercarriage of this front tree. So just going to darken this up. Also modifying the shape of the branches. So just pushing this up and towards the snow on top. Almost individually adding some more detail to each of those branches. Also adding some more contrast. Just breaking up the edge of those branches. And inside, you can also show a little hint of the trunk coming in. Now to help add some depth, we're going to go a little bit lighter across the trees across the back. So not going as dark and contrasting, but you can add some shadows inside. Also adding some dead trees without the leaves going around. Just splitting off the branches. Now I'm just going to add some shrubs across the bottom. Just using that same layering approach that we did with the tree branches, but we're going from the bottom up. I'm also going to extend a little bit of shadow coming down. Now as we get near the end, I'm just going to tighten up my shadows and add some clouds in the background, and always be sure to sign out artwork, and that's pretty much it. There's a sketch illustration of a snowy mountain landscape. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you do, please be sure to subscribe for more videos each week. I want to thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you again soon.